Well, you know, we voted for the CR to prevent the government from shutting down, and I'm proud that we did. We didn't get everything that we wanted, specifically the Ukraine funding. I want to assure my constituents of Ukrainian descent that that's something that we are going to continue to work on. And I know that the Senate is now held up while they make a determination about including that back in. But this was vital for us to do. It was done along bipartisan lines, which is what I've been saying all along was needed in order to make sure that we didn't have a shutdown of the government.
I wonder if you would talk us through what was happening behind these scenes, specifically the effort from Minority Leader Jeffries to really rally Democratic support for this vote.
Well, first, let me just say, we didn't get to see the bill until very shortly before we had to vote on it. So there wasn't a lot of rallying or whipping, as it is called around here, because we didn't know what was in the bill, and that's always disconcerting. I thought one of the rules that was set at the beginning of this Congress by Speaker McCarthy's far-right faction was that 72 hours time to read bills was going to be allowed. But in any event, once we knew what was in the bill, we had to do a very careful analysis of it. We wanted to make sure that it was what we call a clean CR, that there weren't any poison pills in there that would prevent us from voting for it. I will say, Democratic leadership didn't really whip folks. We were left up to make our own decisions, but it was. I think leadership recognized that the vast majority of us wanted to make sure that the government didn't shut down, and with a clean CR, that we would be voting yes.
Yeah, the urgency was clear. I mean, I don't need to tell you this is going to go down as a bipartisan vote. It was a bipartisan vote. The process to get here was not bipartisan. It was not holistic. What needs to change so that doesn't keep happening?
Well, thanks for asking that, because that's exactly what has to change. I've been calling for a bipartisan approach to this for weeks now, as have many of my colleagues. We were dismayed that the Speaker seemed to be kowtowing to his most extreme faction, and in fact, today, none of them voted in support of this short-term funding bill. I believe the Speaker has now realized how important it is to engage with Democrats. The best way to get things done around here is to work with people across the aisle. Most of the good things that happen here are the result of bipartisan efforts. And when we don't do it on a bipartisan basis, especially when you have a group of people who are as divided as the GOP conference is, then you are risking defeat at every step because you haven't engaged your colleagues across the aisle, the Democrats. Today, that changed, and that's how we managed to get this done. I'm proud that more than 200 Democrats voted in favor of a short-term funding bill so that we won't shut down the government at midnight tonight. And I think it's worthy of note that fewer than 100 of the Republicans voted for it. But it's still a bipartisan bill, and I'm glad it happened.
You, of course, if this passes tonight through the Senate, it buys you 45 days. I wonder if you think this U-turn from Speaker McCarthy has actually shaken up his caucus. If there is now the potential for realignment within his caucus such that you don't find yourself exactly back here in 45 days.
I can't speak for his caucus because I don't know the behind-the-scenes machinations, but I will say that I certainly hope that it represents and that the Speaker will recognize it as good faith efforts by Democrats to make government work. And so I would hope that there is a U-turn, that we are going to start seeing some more sensible things happening on the House floor. Last week, we spent many nights here until late in the evening voting on senseless amendments to appropriations bills, most of which did not pass, most of which did not even have the support of the GOP conference. Let's stop doing that. Let's start working on things that really matter here. And we have the opportunity to do that as soon as Monday when we return to working on appropriations bills.